Hi, I'm Sandy from Leicester Libraries Neighbourhood Services, and I've got a story about giants, big giant, and babies, little babies, and bees, bzz, buzzy bees. Now, I expect you know some stories about giants like fee, fi, fo, fum, I'll eat that boy, put him in my hungry tum, that kind of thing. Well, the giant in this story was called Kronos, and he was king of the gods, the Greek gods, the Titans. And he did gobble up boys and girls into his tummy. He even ate his own babies because he didn't want them to grow up and become king instead of him. So, but Kronos' wife, Rhea, she was clever. So the last baby Zeus, she took him and she carried him far away across the sea to an island called Crete. You might have heard of it. And she gave Zeus to a nymph, like a kind of fairy, called Melissa, who had a goat. And she said, take this baby, little Zeus, and keep him safe and hidden here so that he can grow up safely. So Melissa took the baby Zeus and she took him high up into the mountains on that island, Crete, and she found a dry cave, grey rock inside, smooth floor, and she got some black sticks from nearby and made a warm fire to make the cave snug. And then she did what you do with babies. She rocked the baby and she sang to the baby and she fed him sweet warm milk from the goat. And every day she did that, and the little baby Zeus, he gurgled goo, 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 like babies do when they're happy. And he grew and he grew like babies do. And one day, Melissa thought, well, little baby Zeus, he's bigger now. He needs more than milk. He needs food. But there's not much around here for me to get. I can't go out. I have to keep the baby with me, so I can't go and hunt for things, and there are no berries and things like that near here. What am I going to do? Oh dear, oh dear, oh. What's that noise? And it was zoo, 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 zoo. Where's that coming from? Thought Melissa, and she looked down and the little baby, instead of going goo, 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 like he had been, he was making a different sound. It was zoo, zoo. He's trying to say his name, thought Melissa to herself. But then she noticed something else. A little tiny grey creature hovering around the baby's head. And it was making that noise. It wasn't a fly. And then Melissa saw something else. There were more of them, lots of little tiny grey creatures, and they were going out of the cave and then coming back into the cave and up to the roof of the cave where there was a little hole, and they were going into the hole. They were bees, and that hole was their home, their bee hive. Now, I bet you're thinking, wait a minute, bees aren't grey. They're stripy, aren't they? Black and yellow, lovely stripes. Well, that's now. Back then, bees were just plain old grey, just like the rock walls of the cave. But little baby Zeus was enjoying that sound. He went, and that gave Melissa an idea. She went up to the beehive and very gently she tap, tap, tapped at the hole, the entrance to the hive. And she said, "Bees, I don't know what to do. I wonder if you've got some honey that you could spare to help me feed the hungry baby I've got here. He's a special baby. He's going to be a king of the gods when he grows." And there was a buzz and a buzz and a buzz, louder and louder, and all of a sudden, whoosh, out of the hive came all the grey bees, and they swirled around Melissa's head and down her shoulders and arms. And she thought, "Oh no, I've made them angry. Are they going to sting me?" But the bees didn't. They just kept buzz, buzz, humming away, just like the little baby Zeus. So very carefully, Melissa reached out a hand and she put it inside the hive, and she broke off a piece of the honeycomb, the honey, and then she dipped her finger in and gave that finger of honey to baby Zeus to suck. And do you think he liked it? He loved it. Sweet, delicious honey. Food was good, thought baby Zeus. He wanted more. So every day, those little grey bees would go out of the cave, whoosh, on their tiny wings, buzzing and humming, and they flew far across the island to where there were lavender flowers and thyme growing, and they would gather the nectar from the flowers and put pollen in their pollen sacs on their legs, and then the nectar in their honey tummies, and then bzzz, back they'd fly to the cave and put the nectar into the honeycomb in their hive, where it turned into delicious golden honey for bees to eat and for baby Zeus as well. And time went on, and the little boy grew, and he grew, and the honey and the milk made him stronger and bigger and stronger and bigger, and eventually he became a man, like babies and boys do. Only he was Zeus. He was a god. And he left that island of Crete, and he left Melissa and her goat, and he travelled back to where his mother, the queen, Rhea, was, and in a big battle, he defeated the giant Kronos, and he did become king of all the gods. Now, because he was a god, he was powerful and he was magical. But because Melissa had looked after him well, he knew when you needed to say your thank yous. So Zeus, king of the gods, he thanked the bees by changing them from grey, from plain cave grey, into yellow and black, beautiful stripes like they are today. Yellow for that delicious honey he remembered as a boy, and the sunshine on that island Crete, and black for those black sticks from the fire in the cave that kept him warm as a little child. And of course, gods can go everywhere and see everything all around the world, and Zeus made sure he always took a few of his little stripy bee friends with him so that they could try different flowers in different parts of the world, and so that we could all find honey wherever we lived. So that is how the bees got their stripes, back in ancient Greece, so the story says. And maybe you can think of that story next time you see a bee near flowers where you live. Bye.